Hi everyone, my name is Carlos Campos. I am an economist and internationalist. I graduated from Northeastern University in Boston. Today I want to talk about what is going on in Venezuela in the next few days. Let's start with tomorrow. Tomorrow, February 22nd, there is a concert that was organized by Richard Branson and more than 32 artists from all around the world, with the purpose of collecting more than $100 million for humanitarian aid for Venezuela. So these collections, together with other collections that are already in the border between Venezuela and Colombia, Venezuela and Brazil, and also in certain islands in the Caribbean, are there to protect the needs of Venezuelan people who need it the most. In addition to that, President Guaido, in support with more than 50 countries that have recognized him as the legitimate president of Venezuela, and also together with the specific governments of Colombia, Brazil, the United States, and the Netherlands, they have specific plans to bring all that humanitarian aid into Venezuela on Saturday, February 23rd. At the moment, that is a very difficult situation given that Maduro still controls part of the military, and they have blocked all borders between Colombia and Venezuela, Brazil and Venezuela, and he also made a blockade in the maritime border with the islands in the Caribbean. It's important to remember that Juan Guaido is the legitimate president of Venezuela, given that our constitution have specific elements that determine who should be the president of the country in case of an absence. I would like to explain a little bit the current situation with the presidency of Venezuela. Back in 2018, and specifically on May 20th, 2018, Maduro called for elections. Those elections were not in the electoral calendar of Venezuela, and additionally, those elections were not called by the Venezuelan Congress, which is the National Assembly. Instead, those elections were called by a parallel Congress that was created by Maduro and his group of people. Because of that, those elections do not have any legality under Venezuelan law. As a result, on January 10th of 2019, Maduro effectively ended his presidency as representative of the executive branch of Venezuela. After that, there is an absence of power which cannot be accepted by the Venezuelan constitution. Therefore, our constitution, in the pursuit for continuity of government, establishes that the president of the National Assembly, who is Juan Guaido, must take over the presidency and all the responsibilities of the executive branch of Venezuela in order to continue with power and with the democratic elements of our system. I know and I understand that sometimes it's difficult to understand when you're abroad the specific laws and the specific elements of a country, but something that I want to make very clear is that Juan Guaido was elected by the people as a representative to the Congress, and then he was elected by the Congress as the president of the National Assembly. Considering that, and considering these elements of the Constitution, he has all the legal grounds to become the president of Venezuela. Internationally, there has been a lot of dispute regarding the recognition of Juan Guaido and the dispute with Maduro. I want to make very clear, under Venezuelan law, Juan Guaido is the president of Venezuela. Maduro does not have any effect as president of the country, and he is taking and holding the seat of the presidency illegally. He's actually taking over some parts of the military, and he is using them as a personal army to protect himself and protect the people around his group. This is an action that is illegal in Venezuelan law and should be also condemned in international law. In Venezuela, we haven't asked the international community to intervene in the country. We have asked the international community to continue supporting a process that was already in the development by the Venezuelan people. Juan Guaido, when he took office, he did not proclaim himself. He, in front of the people of Venezuela, took oath into office as the constitution mandates, and after that, he started exercising the responsibilities of the presidency. In addition to that, it's important to mention that in Venezuela there is a need to call for elections, but those elections cannot happen until Maduro has left the Venezuelan power, so Guaido can take a provisional government into place that will call for election in the next 30 days. It's interesting to see how the international community continues to be confused about the legality of the presidency of Juan Guaido. However, we can see that more than 50 countries has recognized Juan Guaido as president of Venezuela, and the more important piece is that we all Venezuela have recognized him as the legitimate president of our country.